of Arizona. He served as a captain in the U.S. Navy. And Senator, we'll get to the president's response in just a moment. But first, can you tell us why you all decided to make that video?
Well, hey, good morning, and thank you for having me on. I mean, this administration is like no other. This president has sent U.S. troops into U.S. cities. He's threatened the Insurrection Act to send troops to other cities. He's talked about using U.S. cities as training grounds for the military. And you don't have to go too far back when he asked his Secretary of Defense if they could shoot protesters in the legs. That is an example of what an illegal order could be, and we're concerned that members of the military are stuck in a spot here, and they really don't understand what to do. You get briefed on this stuff pretty early in your career if you're at OCS or ROTC or maybe in boot camp. It was just a friendly reminder that we are a country of laws. And by the way, I don't think there's anything more American or patriotic than standing with the Constitution. We're a country of laws. If anybody in the chain of command, anybody asks you to do something that's illegal, not only should you not do it, you're actually required not to do it. You have to follow legal orders. You are not to follow illegal orders. It was pretty basic. And the president's first instinct is to politicize this, to threaten political violence on members of the United States Congress. On the heels, I mean, it's just 2 months ago that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and he talked about political violence, and now his instinct is to call for execution. Yeah, and
Senator, there are the generals, admirals, other people who have led men and women into battle will all say the same thing, that the last thing you want or to have troops think that they can obey illegal orders. We had General Hurtling on earlier this morning saying what Donald Trump is telling, getting so angry about is what our soldiers are trained every day. And this from Fox News is Andy McCarthy, who is a legal correspondent there. He says disobeying an unlawful order is not sedition. It is required. Explain.
Well, it's in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It clearly outlines that you have to follow legal orders. That's a requirement. Somebody gives you an illegal or unlawful order, you're not to follow it. Hey, I think the president's statement also is evidence of why we needed to say this. I mean, he immediately goes to something that is clearly not within the realm of our legal systems, talking about sedition because we said something and now we should be executed. My family has, suffered from political violence. My wife, Gabby Giffords, was nearly assassinated, shot in the head at a political event. We have rising political violence in this country. Even the president, two assassination attempts. He should understand that his weight, that his words have significant weight with the American people, and people react to things that he says. So this kind of language is dangerous and it's wrong.
And Senator, good morning. Certainly there's a thought that the president's trying to distract from a number of very bad headlines that he is facing lately, including the coming release of the Epstein files. But what you just said is so important. The President of the United States, his words do carry weight. We have seen them inspire violence before. Let's not forget the January 6th insurrection based on his false claims of January 6th insurrection based on his false claims of a stolen election. So let's just put it simply to you. Are you concerned about your safety now? The other Democratic lawmakers who appeared in that video with you, are you acquiring additional security and the like because of what he said yesterday?
Well, I'm not going to get into my specific security arrangements, but it would be irresponsible for me not to consider that his words results in increased threats to myself even to my staff, to my family. So it would be a rather irresponsible thing for us not to consider this seriously.
Senator Kelly, it's Walter Isaacson. You know, this is part of a bigger picture, which is, you know, President Trump has cleaned out part of the military. They've been firing so many people there. FBI, other law enforcement agencies, even the Justice Department politicized. And now he's saying, and you're required to follow illegal orders if I tell you to do so. Are you worried that this is part of a larger plan?
Well, I think you might be onto something here, Walt. He is trying to purge the military of anybody he thinks may not agree with him. I think there's some evidence of that, or he's fired people because of seemingly because they're women or the color of their skin. But here's the thing: he can't fire us. You know, we cannot be fired, not by the president, just by our constituents in an election. So instead, he's going to try to intimidate us because he disagrees or he didn't like what we said. What I think the president should have done is he should have watched the video, he should have listened to the video and listened to the message, and what I think any other president would have done is they would have retweeted that video and said, 2 words, of course.
Rebel against the commander-in-chief. However, once the president started posting, particularly that post about claiming that they were engaging in seditious behavior and that's punishable by death, that's when a lot of Republicans started agreeing with Democrats that this went too far. Now, the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt addressed this yesterday, and she also denied that the post meant that the president was essentially calling on lawmakers to be executed.
Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders.
There's a few things as well, Wolf and Panel, that I've been hearing in some of my conversations with people in that building behind me. The fact that the lawmakers who shared this video or were part of this video did not give any examples of any illegal orders that perhaps the military had received or would receive. I also want to point you to what we heard from the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche. He said that the Justice Department was going to be opening a formal investigation to look into all of this. But I do want to be clear. We know that the law states that service members should not be obeying illegal orders, and to do so would actually open them up to prosecution. I'd remind you of the Nuremberg trials. And so this is going to be very messy. There's a chance we will hear from the president today addressing this. A lot of people very eager to know what exactly he meant with these posts.
All right, so let's bring in, go ahead, Wolf.
No, I was just going to say at Nuremberg, the Nazi generals and other senior military officers simply said they were obeying orders from the top. But those orders were illegal, and as a result, they paid the price for those illegal orders. The Democrats were not saying, you know, to go ahead and disobey legal orders. They were saying disobey illegal orders, or something that goes against the Constitution.
That's right. So I want to go to Capitol Hill now, Wolf, to see how Republicans there are responding to this. Tell us more, Arlette.
Well, Pamela, President Trump's comments have really drawn a mixed reaction from Republicans up here on Capitol Hill. But there have been a number of Republican lawmakers who have said that the president's comments were inappropriate and do not help do anything to lower the temperature at a time when there's a lot of concern about political violence and highly charged political rhetoric as well. Now, Senate Majority Leader John Thune said that he doesn't agree with President Trump's comments, but his counterpart in the House Speaker Mike Johnson, early in the day yesterday defended the president's comments, saying that it's the Democrats who were out of line with their video. But then hours later, Johnson did concede that he would not have used that highly charged language.
These congresspeople are speaking for a real strand in the military of people that want to serve their country, but don't want to be lackeys to Trump's cult. And that includes people who voted for Trump. I want to make that clear. As much as I disagree with the people that voted for Trump, there are people that voted for him and serve in the military that still don't want to worship Trump but still swear loyalty to the Constitution. Right? When they voted for Trump, erroneous as that was, I'm going to be honest, stupid as that was, dumb as it was, they didn't necessarily say, well, now I'm going to swear an oath to Trump as I serve in the military. They still believe in the Constitution. They just were wrong that in thinking Donald Trump believed it alongside them. And so it leads to a situation like this, where people that have served their country, these Democratic Congress people, have all been soldiers or service people broadly defined, right? They've served their country in the military as first responders in some cases. And they're saying, we're worried that the president is going to treat the army not as the American people's defender, the defender from enemies foreign and domestic, but specifically as his personal fighting force, acting like a monarch from the 1300s or whatnot, rather than the head of a republic in the year 2025. And you need to put this out there. And what's really interesting is the response from Trump proved the necessity of the remarks they made. That if there was any proof you needed that they needed to say to the military, to generals, to soldiers, do not follow this man's illegal orders, his response by saying, I want to kill you, effectively, is all you need to know that Donald Trump needed to hear that, and the people under him needed to hear that.